Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of my brand new series, Inside the Box. My name is Ricardo. In today's episode we are going to be talking with a guy called Sam. He's a local barber in Hornchurch. He works for Mr. Barbers. Let's go in and check out what is going on in the store. Okay Sam, how you doing mate?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good thanks, I'm good. Guys, if you don't know already, this is the first episode of Inside the Box, an occupation series. In this episode, we are going to be dealing with a barber who actually is employed. He isn't self-employed, right?
Self-employed.
You are self-employed?
I'm self-employed.
Oh, okay. So how does that work then with the Mr. Barber shop?
On a rent-a-chair basis, really. So I pay to be here, and the rest I keep. It's definitely the best way for any barber to earn money and get clientele.
Right, okay. I'll ask you a little bit about that then, because I don't know too much about it.
Well, every week, every Friday, I set up a direct debit with Mr. Barbers, and it goes in, that pays for the following week. So, say I do like 2-3 haircuts, that covers the chair, and the rest I keep.
Oh, okay, excellent. Great. Yeah. Guys, this is Sam Dufosse, have I got that right?
That's right.
And how do you spell that?
D-U-F-O-S-S-E.
Good stuff, okay.
It has an accent on the end for Dufosse, but because it's French, I sound too much like a wanker if I say Samuel Dufosse. So I better not say that. Dufosse is fine.
No offence to any of the French people on the channel, by the way. Welcome to the channel, as I said. So let's get into it. I just wanted to have a little chat with you basically about being a barber, the barber life, the barber profession, and how you exactly got into it, to be fair. So you are 28 years old, as you told me before.
That's right.
When did you start doing barbering?
When I was 23.
Oh, so you've been doing it for 5 years roughly?
Yeah, 5.5 years I've been doing that.
And what made you get into barbering?
What made me get into it? I don't know, I just felt like I had a calling for it. It was something that really interested me, but I just didn't know how to get into it. So, first place I went to, it was an apprenticeship. But because of my age, so the apprenticeship scheme is between 16 and 24, not many people wanted to hire me because of that.
Sure.
But there was a sign on the window at a local barber shop, kept on banging on the door until he said yes, persistence, and got in that way.
Nice, yeah, persistence definitely pays off.
Absolutely.
Where was that store based?
That was in Gideon Park.
Oh, okay. So that's also in Essex?
Also in Essex, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Sam, can you tell us a little bit about the process of becoming a barber? And what I mean by that is, for someone that is new to the barbering profession, what are the sorts of jobs and duties that they'd have to do in order to become a barber that can work on actual human beings?
Well, you've definitely got to be the runner boy for a start. A lot of sweeping up, a lot of making the cups of teas and coffees. I can make a banging cup of tea through the experience. But to be honest, you need to have the drive, you need to have the passion for it. You kind of just know that you want to get into barbering and just cutting hair in general.
Sure.
I've never cut women's hair, but that's never been my calling. However, with barbering, I just like the whole idea with the fashion side of it, and like the tattoos go hand in hand as well. And myself as a tattoo person, I feel this is like a really good place for me to be expressive in my field of work and not get judged.
Yeah, I totally understand that, yeah. So what piece of advice could you give to someone that was, say, 16, 17 years old that was considering becoming a barber, but obviously doesn't really know about the ins and outs of the work that is involved to get to that stage?
Instagram is a great one, definitely. There's so many talented barbers on there. That, for example, you've got like Alan and Reese Beek, you've got Connor Tough, Ryan Cullen, Nick Toner, Jack Finch, who actually worked for Mr. Barbers. But they all got their following through Instagram, and they done the same thing by watching other people cut hair through that as well. It's mainly just like revision on your phone, but you get different stages on how they do it and like different techniques. You can learn so much from just Instagram alone.
So what you're really saying is, Sam, YouTube and social media in general is a really, really good place for people to start looking at barbering as a profession, which is good actually, because this video is also on YouTube, so people that want to have a look may potentially come along and see this video. And hopefully they do and gain some beneficial information from it. Little bit of a curveball question for you, Sam. Do you have a particular method? Do you work in a certain sequence, or does it vary depending on what haircut they want?
Both. I do have my own technique, which I've learned through watching other barbers, and everyone's got like different hair, obviously. But I've got about 4 or 5 different techniques I like to use for each one. Sometimes someone will have like really thick, coarse hair, but if you go in with the scissors too much, it'll look all jaggedy. So for me, I go clipper over comb, and you get a nice, satisfying, just curve. Like a nice, it's like more carving the haircut rather than cutting. But I only use that for like coarse, like Asian hair in particular. That's normally like the hardest one to go for. Like people get a bit, I don't know what to do with that because it's so springy. But with my method, I just clip over comb the whole thing and you get a nice shape.
I definitely understand what you mean when it comes to different races' hair. So like a black or an Asian person's hair might obviously be a little bit different.
Same thing with an afro hair. I do a few afro haircuts as well. Again, the same thing goes with it, like with the whole carving method. I use that method with the same way I'd use an Asian person's hair.
Cool, Sam, cool. Okay, let's talk a little bit about qualifications then and skills that might be required to do this job. I mean, yourself, do you have any qualifications or did you have to go through a certain process to be considered?
Yeah, I done a qualification with Paul Fultrix in Romford. I got my level 2 MVQ. But to actually get into a shop, if you say you've been cutting hair for a little bit, they don't want to see your CV, they just want to know if you can cut hair. It's like, can you cut hair? Yeah, prove it. And then you show them, and then you learn from then on.
And in terms of showing them then, how do you do that? Do you show like a portfolio of work or do you just go on the job and then show them?
Well, that's why I'm saying with Instagram is a great platform. It's a portfolio. It's all about pictures. So it's all about like the setting of the light as well, and like certain angles.
So use social media to sort of portray your portfolio.
Absolutely.
And then employers will potentially go and look there because it's 2018 and it's...
That's the perfect CV. That's the perfect CV to put all your stuff on social media.
Excellent.
Preferably Instagram.
All right, Sam, so obviously with you working under a company umbrella and in a store that's on a main high street, I suppose that your working hours are quite structured. Can you tell me a little bit about your working hours and how they sort of fit with your lifestyle?
Yeah, being self-employed, I get to choose my own hours, technically, as long as I give enough notice and there's enough people to cover in the shop. But we do 9 till 6 most every day. I have a late night, 9 till 8, but I come in like 11 till 8 o'clock, and the other guy who works here, he does 9 till 6, with the last 2 hours being optional. So it should help him as well. But being both in up for 11 hours is a long slog, especially as you use the word structured. It can be structured if you do have the appointments coming in, but when you rely on the walk-ins, it can be anyone's guess. You can get 10 haircuts one day, and then the following week you can get like 4. It totally depends.
Does that get a little bit annoying?
Oh yeah, a lot of twiddling your thumbs, a lot of scrolling your life away on Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. But as I use Instagram as a tool, I always, every day, when I'm in the shop, just promoting myself, working 9 till 6, 11 till 8 or whatever, DM for an appointment, which is always good. Yeah. But people tend to message me like an hour before, which doesn't always pay off.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You have to like message me like at least a day before, and then I can sort you out. But before doing this, I used to be a mobile barber as well. So I used to go around to people's houses and in their kitchen mainly, going like around the stove and like some screaming kids or whatever, and a dog, trying not to tread on anyone's tail. So that clientele I have, I'd like to bring to the shop. And as I've been doing that, I have no interest in doing anything else outside, going into other people's kitchens and that kind of stuff. No more.
So you're basically bringing in the clients that you used to work with to the store. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. I just thought it'd be interesting to find out like if you had any sort of private work as well as working in the shop. But I suppose you've sort of reversed that and brought them to the shop, which benefits both you and Mr. Barber, I suppose. Okay, mate, so let's have a little look at what you can do behind the chair then. Now, as you will know, in all professions, there are always benefits to a job. What benefits in particular can you get working as a barber?
Benefits of the job is just relaxing, I like to say. get to choose your own music. If you're lucky enough to be in a shop with Wi-Fi, that's enough to keep you entertained whilst you're waiting for the customers to come in. And also, to be honest, every time I do a good haircut, there's always instant job satisfaction. Because when you see the look on the customer's face, well, after I've done a nice haircut for them, and they look into the mirror like, oh my God, yeah, that's great. It makes me feel good. It feels like I've done a good deed for the day.
So the job is very satisfying.
Very, very satisfying.
And I guess you get to see a number of different people every day. Everybody's different. You get to meet a variety of different personalities, which is quite nice, and it keeps your brain sort of motivated.
Oh yeah, I have to remember so many people's names. That's a hard one. I'm great with faces. With the names, it's tough, but I'm getting better. Unfortunately with me, I'm not a sports fan.
That's fair enough. You don't have to like sport.
No.
But yeah, I suppose that will lead me on to asking what sorts of hobbies you do outside of work. Like what sort of things are you interested in doing?
I'm in a band.
Are you in a band? Oh,
Yeah.
great. What do? You play an instrument or do you sing?
Oh, I wish I could sing. No, I'm a drummer actually. I've been drumming
nice.
for about 15 years. I play guitar as well, just for a little bit of a pastime.
Me too, actually.
Oh, you
I play
do?
guitar, yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So how does that work then? Do you guys do that at the weekends or?
Yeah, well, like you say, I've been travelling for the first half of the year, so I went around most of Asia really for the first half. Now, my first job placement was here.
Did you cut anybody's hair when you was travelling?
I did bring my clippers out with me, but I didn't really cut many people's hair. I cut my own hair. Just gave myself skin fades every day.
Well, short haircuts is paramount really when you're in Asia.
Absolutely. Every day, so iPhone, mirror, clippers, just doing that. But that kept me afloat with my skills. You know, it didn't make me rusty because I was cutting hair pretty much every other day to keep on top of it.
Exactly, yeah.
But what I'd also like to mention is the fact that I am in a band, I've played live in front of people. I pretty much get the same kind of satisfaction from doing a decent haircut with someone and they recommend their friends, or I see them out on the street and go, oh yeah, I've done really well. I went out the other night, Paul, thanks for your haircut. I was like, you're welcome, man. It's always good to make sure that the girlfriends are happy with the haircut, and once I've done that, happy. That goes for the mums as well. You always got to please the mums.
Definitely.
You can look at it that whatever way you like.
No, we won't go into that, mate. Do you do children's hair as well?
Yeah. Cutting kids' hair, I wasn't very good with children at first. Like I didn't have the patience, but cutting hair whilst they're, screaming, being like, ah.
It must be quite a bit of a pain.
It is a pain, but you develop a tolerance and patience. A lot more patience.
Just out of curiosity, Sam, have you ever made any connections with people like that you've cut hair for and ended up doing like potential business with them or helped them out in any way?
Yes, yeah. Before I went travelling, I was in a band and needed a lead singer. He's cutting his hair, saying like, "Oh, I'm in the band." He goes, "Oh, I can sing. I'm in the band as well." Wow. And we ended up jamming. And he was like the front man for the band for a little while, which was cool. And recently, actually, in this shop, it was a busy Saturday. And it was my turn to cut someone's hair, and the guy was waiting for the other dude who works here, but he was like, oh look, I'm in a rush, I need to go, but I'll sit with him. He said, oh, no problem. So sat down, I noticed he had tattoos on his hand, and he had a coffee grinder on his hand. I was like, that's coffee, right? He goes, yeah, how do you know? Oh no, my missus, she's a big coffee connoisseur, she loves everything about it. He goes, oh yeah, does she want a job? And I was like, yes.
Wow.
She actually does need a job. And cut a long story short, she's now working for him, operative manager, and she's doing like really well.
That's amazing.
But I don't, believe in fate or destiny or whatever, but the fact that he chose to sit with me has now benefited himself and my missus.
I mean, it's quite amazing actually, because not only did you recruit someone for your band, you also gave somebody an employee that now works for them, which is quite remarkable. Okay, mate, so without going into too much detail, I know none of us really like to talk about money, but it will be helpful for people watching the series to know how much they can roughly earn as a barber. So I'm going to show you a card now. If you can just tell me A, B, C or D regarding the average salary for a barber, please, mate.
I'd say B or C, depends how busy you are.
Alright mate, and the final question to make this video a wrap is, what do you like most about your job and what can be improved?
They both actually fall under the same thing. That you're always learning. With barbering, like I say, I get job satisfaction pretty much with every haircut I do, but there's always something I can do better. I always want to better myself as a barber, but I like to pass on the knowledge to other people as well. I'm currently training a guy at the moment, and
yes, I see that earlier on. Yeah.
But just to show him like the tools and techniques that I've learned, and that makes me feel good. I like to progress in that field of like education. Like I say, just a little bit of knowledge that I've learned here and there along the way, just to pass that on. It's a nice feeling.
I have to admit, mate, during the time that I've spent in here today, it hasn't really felt like much of a sort of conveyor belt type of barbering salon, which I think seems to be quite popular like these days, because I've been to a few barbers in the past myself, and I've had to wait a lengthy period of time and not necessarily had a great service. And for me, service is paramount. So to go the extra mile and go into the minor details at the end, as you said, I think is a very, very good thing.
Yeah.
And something that a lot of people probably miss these days because they just want to get as many people through the front door as possible.
Exactly. I don't blame them for that, but we offer a more personalised service here. And like I say, with the finishing touches on the haircut, that's what the customer will notice when they go back, or other people will notice too. The fact that you're taking that extra little bit of time, they will notice that. Rather than just grinding a pair of clippers up against the head, just so you could have the conveyor belt, like you say, like in, out, just to get a bit of money. But you want those guys to come back and spread the word, and that's what they're doing. And it's good. And like I say, I take pride in my work. When they notice that, they shall return.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Thank you very much for doing the episode with us. As mentioned at the beginning, this is episode 1 of Inside the Box, and it's been a pleasure having you involved. If you can tell us your Instagram profile name, I'll add a link in the description below of this video.
Alright, awesome. Okay, on Instagram it's Samuel_D_Barber. So Samuel D Barber. Pretty easy to find, not many of us on there.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.